Did you get a chance to talk to Knowing Better about Twitch? No, I have him added on Twitter. We're friends on there, and we've talked before. I have not talked to him about Twitch. Welcome, by the way. Glad you made it. I haven't talked to him about Twitch. Has he moved over to Twitch entirely? Let me let you guys in on a little secret that most people don't know about being a big creator on YouTube. The majority of big creators on YouTube are full of themselves, are obsessed with themselves, believe themselves to be the best at everything. And if you say one word that offends them, which is real easy to do, they will stop talking to you completely for the rest of your time on the platform. It's so difficult to stay in creators' good graces sometimes because they are so completely full of themselves. And here's the catch. I don't know which creators are full of themselves and which are just normal people. For that reason, I keep my contact with other creators to a minimum because I don't want to say something that will piss them off or get them bent out of shape or offend them or whatever else. And when I do talk to them, I try to be mildly and subtly flattering. I try to be nice to them, and I try to like make them feel like I respect them and stuff like that, which I do. You know, I respect them just like I respect everybody. But I lay it on a little thick when I talk to other creators because I don't know if they're one of the people that are obsessed with themselves or not. So as far as talking to Knowing Better, I've talked to him a couple of times. We've been cordial. We've been cool. He's really nice. I like him. But I don't know if he's one of those creators that's completely full of himself. I don't know. I have no way of knowing. So I'm going to keep my communication with all of them to a minimum for that reason. Shit, I went to the wrong location. I meant to go to Zora's domain. In my opinion, I am really no different than anybody else. Like, the only difference between me and somebody in my chat is the fact that I was in the right place at the right time for YouTube, and I did the right things, which is create content about a certain specific subject that people liked. And I capitalized on that opportunity by releasing more videos about that subject that people really liked. That's about the only difference. That's it. I don't believe I'm any better or worse than anybody else. And to think that I am is the height of arrogance, really. So, I don't really get how people could see it differently than that, but I know that they do. So I'm just really, really, really careful about who I talk to on YouTube, who I interact with, who I work with. Because I could be burning a bridge that I didn't want to burn, that it's bad to burn ultimately, that I could need their help in the future on something, and their arrogance has blinded them to the fact that I'm just another person and they're just another person, you know? And now they don't want to deal with me ever again. This has happened. I'm describing a real situation with real creators, by the way. This isn't something that I just suspect. This has really actually happened. With real creators. I'm not going to name names, but it has happened. And, yeah, I just like to avoid talking to creators in extended conversations for that reason. Anyway. So, about talking to Knowing Better. I do know him, and I have talked to him, and I have the ability to talk to him, but I don't want to take the risk that maybe behind closed doors he's... Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's a D-bag. Maybe he's like really cool on stream, and then behind closed doors when dealing with other people, he turns out to be an arrogant asshole. Who knows? I don't know. He doesn't give me that impression. But neither did the other creators who actually were D-bags behind closed doors, you know? So I just try to keep my communication with them to a minimum in case they're like obsessed with themselves or something and nobody really knows. Some people do let fame go to their head. You're right, they do. It's really obnoxious and sad. And, you know, also, some people were like that before they even got YouTube famous. Some people were like that before. And becoming YouTube famous made the entire situation worse. You know, becoming YouTube famous made them even more obsessed with themselves. It just got worse and worse until they have an ego the size of Texas, and they can't be reasoned with or talked to or anything like that. They believe they're the best, and they will step on your face to guarantee that they stay the best. It's obnoxious. After my 5 years on the platform, after meeting pretty much every creator from 0 to 1 million subscribers on the platform between when I started 5 years ago and now, you know, I've burned a few bridges by accident because the people felt like I was being offensive to them or something, or they thought I was annoying or an idiot or something, and just stopped talking to me. You know? That shit happens. That's why I keep my communication with fellow creators to a minimum, because they turn out to be sometimes. Blue Phoenix, I don't watch YouTubers like that. They're annoying and narcissistic. The thing is, you don't know which ones are like that and which aren't until you sit down in a room with them. Until you are just in DMs with them alone talking to them, and then you find out, you know? There are some that I had my suspicions about, honestly. For example, I'll give you some examples here. Seth Andrews. I thought for sure Seth Andrews was going to be stick up the D-bag, obsessed with himself, and he'd get offended at any little thing that I said. He's not really like that. He's not. He doesn't really communicate with me very often because he's busy and I'm busy too. But if I ask him a question, he'll answer it, and I haven't gotten the impression that he's really like that. Oh, wait, where was I going? Oh, yeah, Terrytown. That's right. There are some others that I was suspicious about. I wondered if they were full of themselves, and they turned out to not be. Seth always struck me as a good guy. He's changed my view of my parents. They aren't necessarily bad people, but victims of bad ideas. Absolutely agree with him on that one. Yes, definitely. It's a relief to hear about Seth Andrews, yeah. Honestly, I haven't gotten the impression that Seth Andrews is like that. Like, cut somebody off because they say something annoying and arrogant and full of themselves. I don't get that impression, but he is pretty short with everybody that he talks to in this community. I mean, he'll talk to us, he'll answer questions, like I said, but in my experience, he has been kind of short, like just one word answer kind of thing, you know. He's cool, like I said, I have no problem with him, but he is an example of somebody who I thought was going to be a D-bag, but turned out not to be a D-bag, really. Not going to name names on the people that really did turn out to be D-bags. So it would just stir up a massive amount of drama that I don't want. I think Seth is just super busy. Yeah, that's probably true. Seth talked to me when I was a tiny little guy. I first talked to Seth when I was at like 100, or I'm sorry, I was at 10,000 subbies. Yeah. Anyway, to get back to the original point, Zada Hugla, that's why I don't talk to other creators. I don't know who's going to be full of themselves and who isn't. You know. Stuff like that usually comes forth eventually. I saw a couple of creators essentially ruin themselves over something stupid. Still have something of a following enough, but it's less so now. Yeah, it comes forward eventually. Sometimes. Not always. I know some creators who are like that, and they're still going strong. So, it's hit or miss. And a lot of the time, another thing, it comes forward eventually. A lot of the stuff that comes forward is nonsense. When there's like an expose on a creator or something. Not always, obviously, but a lot of the time it's just complete fabricated. It is not always legitimate. There are legitimate grievances against some creators. Some of it's just complete nonsense. Fabricated, contrived. Canceling with absolutely no reason behind it. Some of them. Tom's from Holy Kool-Aid seems like a really humble guy. Let me think about that. I've worked with him closely. Yeah. You could say that. Yeah. He's really cool. He's really cool. I've worked with him on multiple Faithless Forum events. I've worked with him on YouTube and stuff. He's a really cool guy. I've never gotten the impression that he believed that he was better than anybody. Not like that. Definitely not. I think, to some degree, a lot of people worry about their YouTubers, their favorite YouTubers being like that, too, because they're, people... I talk to people sometimes, like in DMs or whatever, and they will walk on eggshells with me to be, like, extra flattering and extra nice and extra cool and sweet and not be annoying and stuff. And it's just like, we're all people. Like, I don't like it when people walk on eggshells around me. Like, lay it on the line, Zada Hugla has laid it on the line a little too hard, but I would prefer somebody who lays it on the line and who's serious and doesn't beat around the bush and doesn't treat me like I'm a Fabergé egg that might break at any moment. That drives me nuts, man. Just be a normal person. I'm a normal person. You're a normal person. Just be normal people, It's just something that deeply bothers me about the fact that people feel the need to walk on eggshells around creators in the first place. Like, it shouldn't be like that. It's like that because people are... It's like that because people are obsessed with themselves, because they believe they're the best, because they cause problems for other people, because they're D-bags to them and everything else. It shouldn't be like that, really. Parasocial relationships are really weird. They are. They absolutely are. Why, yes, Telltale, you're so right and awesome and godlike and joking, yeah. Well, people, they act like that when they DM me. They do. I don't like it. Like, just treat me like a normal person, man. I am a normal person. Treat me like a normal person. Like, yeah, parasocial relationships really bother me a lot because they're easy to take advantage of, and it turns into worship a little too quickly. And on the creator side, the creator becomes obsessed with themselves. There's the guy. He sells good armor. My ears are burning while I was away. Yeah. Do you go back and watch that? It's pretty funny. As I was saying earlier, if I'm going to talk to somebody about Twitch, it's going to be somebody normal. Like somebody who is not a big content creator that, runs the risk of being offended by some stupid thing that I say, I'd rather just talk to a normal person. Talking about YouTubers that are full of themselves, I used to watch a lot of skeptic YouTubers until they started getting stalker creepy with Anita Sarkeesian. Then I kind of got done with skepticism until I discovered you. I think I was looking for JW info for some reason. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, they went downhill hard. The skeptic YouTubers did. It was a complete train wreck of a mess. Really, really sad to see. And they absolutely ruined the reputation of the atheist movement, of the atheist community. They ruined it. It was really bad. Now, organizations will not work with me or respect me, or they look at me as a leech because I'm a YouTuber that is also an atheist. They view me as a leech. That's really sad, you know. Oh, see you later, Ken Panda. Thanks for coming. Like, the people at American Atheist, the people at FFRF. I mean, not all of them. Not all of them. Some of them are really cool. Debbie Goddard's been cool with me. The vice president, Nick Fish, has been cool with me. The president of American Atheists. Andrew Seidel has been cool. One of the lawyers works for FFRF. Chris Line's been cool. He's another lawyer at FFRF. But overall, the organizations won't work with YouTubers because, you know, the reputation of YouTuber has been just destroyed by anti-SJWs going after Anita Sarkeesian. Has been destroyed completely. And they don't just not respect us or what we do. They actively look at YouTubers as leeches on society. And it's like, you know, the world has been dealing with, the U.S. particularly, the U.S. has been dealing with this problem of nobody respecting atheists. They view atheists as leeches. That's what we've been fighting. That's the whole point of American Atheists and FFRF and all the other organizations. That's the point, to fight the fact that we are viewed as leeches. And you and me as one of, like, I guess you could say I consider myself part of the reporting arm for the atheist movement. I'm one of the reporters, right? I talk about stories that are important to atheists because mainstream news networks like CNN and MSNBC, they don't give a shit about us. They don't care about us. They're not going to talk about atheist subjects. They don't care about it. So I step in as a reporter for the atheist movement, and these organizations view me as a leech. It's not that they just don't have respect for me. I don't command respect. I don't give a shit. What I give a shit about is the fact that you view me like a leech on society. You are no better than MSNBC and CNN, who hates atheists, if you view atheist YouTubers as leeches. I don't care if you're from American Atheists or FFRF or any of the other billion, you know. It's, like I said, that perception is changing from those organizations because I've worked with them closely, personally, with a lot of them. But it's still pervasive and insidious, and it's still there in the background. You know, the leadership of American Atheists and others don't view me as a leech anymore. But it's common sentiment. It's really disappointing. You have to remember that being an atheist is still a stigma among a lot of U.S. culture. That's true. And that's why it blows my mind that the SSA and American Atheists and FFRF have no respect or actively disrespect the reporting arm of the atheist community, a.k.a. YouTubers, atheist YouTubers. Why? Why disrespect them like that? Like, we're all fighting together. We're all working together. We're trying to solve this problem together and make this a better country, a better world for atheists to live in. And you just hate me. I just don't understand. I think the whole thing started with Atheism Plus. Absolutely. I agree with you. I think it did. There's a massive rift as a result of Sargon of Akkad and Thunderfoot and Steve Shives and, you know, Atheism Plus and all that stuff. Massive rift as a result of all of them. But disregarding the entire reporting arm of the atheist community and viewing them as leeches on society is a nonsensical answer to the problem. It's nonsense to view people that way. Really, what are you doing? You are damaging the movement by acting like this. It's so disappointing, you know? Like, no excuses here, people. I understand that you got into this atheism activism stuff when I was a kid. I get that. And I get that you don't fully understand the value of the activism that I take part in, i.e. the reporting arm. I get that. But don't treat me like a leech. My God. Like, they're just as toxic as, like, the Christian evangelical extremists when they do that. Anyway, that's my take. It just bothers me. I'm not as familiar with Sargon. What's he up to that's damaging? This is old stuff, a long time ago. He started attacking Anita Sarkeesian and others, and basically just he turned anti-SJW, and he kind of worked his way into the atheist community, though he didn't really claim to be an atheist at all. And he kind of, started attacking everybody and turned into a troll. Got, made it a huge mess. It was ugly and stupid. Once again, a good example of people who are, like, so full of themselves that they can't just chill the out and talk to people like they're normal, They've got to feel like they're better than everybody that they talk to. I really think arrogance is a big part of the problem in the Anita Sarkeesian stuff and Atheism Plus and everything. I don't know. It's just disappointing. That's why I don't deal with other creators, because it's nonstop, constant drama. And you never know which creator is going to be, like, so full of themselves that they can't see straight.